What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to talk about the Season 6 update. Last time around, we talked about The Haunting and the leaks and the rumors and the confirmations that we had that The Haunting is returning to Call of Duty this year, and many of you guys wanted more follow-up information. So today, we'll talk about some other leaks and things like that you can expect with the Season 6 update. So if you find the video informative or helpful at any point, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So as we've talked about before, the update is on October 9th. That means that it's going to be half a season long. Every Season 6 is usually a half a season because we don't get a reloaded update. Now, because it starts on October 9th and then Black Ops 7 officially releases on November 14th, we don't have enough time for a reloaded update. So it's just usually a month-long type of season. And all the stuff that would have been in Reloaded will always be added at the very start, which is what makes Season 6 so good. And then alongside that, the crossovers and things like that. Now, before Season 6 even goes live, there's going to be the marketing that comes out, and usually that's the blog posts, the cinematic trailers, the breakdown, the reveal of the crossovers, and all the information comes pouring out. This time, it's going to be a little interesting because first off, throughout this month, they've confirmed that there's going to be zombies roadmaps for Black Ops 7 and more information for BO7 in general. And then at the very end of the month, on September 30th, we have Call of Duty Next. Now, this falls around a week and a couple days before that update goes live. So when you think about it, usually the marketing and the roadmap is always the Thursday before the update. So if they were to follow that same pattern, that would mean it would release the Thursday before on October 2nd. Now, there's one problem. October 2nd is the day that the Black Ops 7 beta officially begins. So just 48 hours after Call of Duty Next. And I'm going to be honest, at that point, no one is really worried about the Haunting event or any information in regards to it. They're all trying to load up and download the beta and jump on it and play some games because the beta itself goes on from October 2nd until the 8th, which is almost an entire week. And then on the 9th, the day after, is when Season 6 Haunting will begin. So I personally believe that they might do the Haunting updates and reveals a little bit earlier. Maybe on the week of like the 25th, we might get a little bit of marketing there. And then they're going to reveal everything, get that out of the way, and then start Call of Duty Next and all the BO7 hype. Anyways, we're going to have to wait and see what they do officially. But let's talk about the leaks that we have so far. So the first thing is there is the MP40. We've talked about how this weapon was added to the files a couple of updates ago. We thought it was going to be in Season 5, but it never released. That means that if it does release, it's going to be in Season 6. This is the last and final update we have in BO6. And there's been times where Call of Duty throughout blog posts and roadmaps, they've teased at the MP40 coming back. So for example, in one of the blogs, they were talking about zombies and they said, what if we told you one of the most iconic SMGs in zombies history was coming along for the ride? And that references the MP40. It's a classic that we've seen in zombies multiple different times in the past before. And the fact that it says it's still in the files according to leakers, it hasn't been removed or anything like that, so it's still sitting there. And that is T10_SM for SMG, and then the codename MPUG40, which is very obvious. It's the MP40. Now, there's a couple of other weapons we've talked about in the past that still haven't come out yet. For example, a chainsaw. That obviously makes sense. It's going to be a melee weapon known as Seesaw in the files, and that's probably going to be one of the weapons you'll be able to unlock in the battle pass and things like that. And then there's also the wand. So the wand, we're thinking it's probably going to be the field upgrade because it has to do with zombies. They're labeling it under special weapon. And then Reality UK said whatever the wand is, it has 5 different barrels. So it has ball, it has burst, it has AoE, it has bomb, and then it has beam. And then someone said that's field upgrade weaponized Ethereum neutralizer device. And someone else said ball could be energy mine, burst is frost blast, AoE is ring of fire, bomb is shatter blast, and beam is ether flare. So hinting at this being a zombies field upgrade. Now remember, because we have these weapons in the files, I believe the one is probably going to release. That's going to be for zombies. But in terms of the MP40, there's a chance they might save it for Black Ops 7. One recent thing that I noticed is that if you guys recall, we talked about how there was upcoming maps that were found in the files and they were remastered. We ended up getting WMD. There was Fringe in there. There's all these different maps, and one of them was Yemen from Black Ops 2, and it was in the files. And then they mentioned in a dev talk that Yemen Yemen is going to be one of the upcoming maps for Black Ops 7's life cycle. So they decided to say, you know what, we're going to take Yemen out from BO6 and bring it to BO7. They might do the same thing here for the MP40 for all we know, because them releasing such an iconic weapon so late into the life cycle of the game, when they originally had plans to carry forward all of the weapons. So even if you unlocked it in Season 6, you would at least be able to use it in BO7 multiplayer. This time around, because carry forward is just no longer a thing, they may end up delaying this weapon and then releasing it in like Season 1 of Black Ops 7. So we'll have to wait until we get official confirmations, but it's still in the files. Now, the next thing that we have, this comes in from the Ghost of Hope, and he actually posted this quite a while ago. I had to scroll up a bit, and he said on March 28th, he put an image of Ghostface. So he seemed to be teasing that the Haunting was going to be returning, and one of the operators that would be a part of this crossover would be the Ghostface operator skin, which we actually ended up seeing in the past with the Haunting event. So it's a little odd for them to bring that back again. And then someone actually asked him about this. So he said, earlier in the year when you showed Ghostface, were you trolling or is he actually coming to the game? And then he replied saying, I heard he was coming back. So that could potentially be one of the operators. Now, speaking of the operators and the potential crossovers we can get in the Season 6 update, Reality UK posted a list of code names. And as of earlier this month, so after the Season 5 Reloaded update went live, he said some new operator code names. We have Gummy, we have Peach Ring, we have Milk, we have Caramel, and then we have Dark. Now, because every single one of these is a brand new operator, that means this is going to be a new person entering Call of Duty. You can expect that the majority of these are going to be crossovers. Sometimes whenever we get these lists, the names are obvious. For example, like Sims will appear and we'll automatically know, oh, that's Lawrence Sims from the campaign. We were thinking maybe Felix would be among them, but there's no Felix as you see here. There's not even a code name that starts with the letter F, so even if they were trying to hide it. So it looks like Felix Newman is not going to be a playable operator in Season 6, and these 5 code names we have are all going to focus on crossovers. Now, sometimes to decipher these code names, the first letter is usually what the operator could be. So, for example, Gummy could end up being Ghostface. They both start with the G. Peach Ring could potentially be Pennywise. For Milk, I could say Michael Myers, but we literally just got him, so it's probably something else. Some other people gave their guesses, but they didn't follow that pattern. So someone said it could be It. Then we could get Five Nights at Freddy. Someone said New Frankenstein, as well as Black Phone. And then Black Phone is something we talked about before because there's like an upcoming movie releasing in regards to that, and then with It they have an upcoming TV show for that. But based on these code names, what do you think is going to be coming in? But the fact is, 5 different crossovers is pretty standard from what we've seen with Haunting updates and events. We actually got 5 in the last Haunting update that we got. Majority of them will release as operator bundles. Some of them will actually be available in the battle pass as some of the main characters. This is pretty much the majority of information that we have for Season 6. Call of Duty has done a really good job throughout BO6's life cycle, making sure that things don't leak too far out in advance. I'm thinking maybe they do another update to add more things in the files, and if they do, leakers will probably be able to reveal that and give us more information. And then Call of Duty may also start their marketing at any point. So I'll keep you guys updated whenever we get new information. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys back on the channel again. Peace.